also as an activist. But again, there are questions, there are challenges. The facts provided, how correct are they? The evidence alluded by Professor Benjamin Okaba in the paper presentation, how empirical are they? Again, the allegations made, how realistic are these allegations? And the solution provided, how way forward will this bring us to the desired 90.2 we are talking about? And at those points, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will constitute a panel, and the panel will dissect the presentation made by Professor Benjamin Okaba. We will look at all the intrigues, the solution, the facts, the challenges, and we will agree. And at the end of the day, we'll come out with a memorandum of understanding and also a publication for the media as a way forward. Please permit me, as I welcome members of the panel, it is my distinct honor to welcome as a member of the panel the representative of the Chief of Army Staff, General O.O. Oluyede, represented by the Deputy Chief of Civil Military Affairs, Department of Civil Military Affairs, Army Headquarters, Abuja, Major General O.A. Fadairo. Please let's put our hands together as we welcome him. Ushers, please direct General where to sit, please. Thank you so much. Also, to join on the panel, it is my singular honor to welcome the Commandant General, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Professor Ahmed Abubakar Aldi, PhD, represented by the HOD Oil and Gas Department, NSCDC Headquarters, Saki Abuja. Please permit me to welcome Commandant Lillian Adebanjo. Please put your hands together for her. And also to join the panel is a very erudite traditional ruler and one who is also the current chairman of the Bayelsa State Traditional Rulers Council. Please permit me to welcome His Royal Majesty King Bubaraye Dakolo. Please put your hands together for him. You're welcome, sir. Also joining on this panel is another distinguished royal father. He has a master's degree in mass communication and a PhD also in communication. He's a traditional ruler. Permit me to welcome His Royal Majesty Monde Obuhowo Whiskey Ideye, the Ovie of Ideye Kingdom, I believe so. Thank you so much, sir. PhD. Please put your hands together. And again, he is a journalist. Please put your hands together. Once a journalist, always a journalist. You're welcome, sir. And also, to join in this panel is the keynote presenter himself. Prof has not been fair to journalists. Please, let's put our hands together for the President of the John National Congress, Professor Benjamin Okaba. Please put your hands together for him, please. Yes, you will be on this. We need to take a look at those things you said, Prof. Thank you, sir. Yes, we will remove it. I'll need some assistance, yes. And to anchor, please, sir. Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. To anchor this segment is a fine gentleman who's a fellow Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, and he's been on the international space, and he is one who has been doing this activity, United Nations and all other international organizations. Please welcome the moderator for this session, Dr. Monday Asubogo. Please, let's put our hands together for Dr. Monday, please. Thank you so much. Now, we will remove this podium, and you can make use of the microphone by your side. It is already connected. Thank you so much.
Hello. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Monday Ashibogu. The compare has a particular deficiency in getting appropriate pronunciations for Niger Delta names. He has goofed repeatedly with His Royal Majesty, and we are forgiving him in advance, and we will also forgive him also for the more errors he's about to make after this program in pronunciation also of names. So thank you very much. The surname is Ashibogu. That's the correct pronunciation of the name. Ladies and gentlemen, we are actually speaking on a very topical area, and it comes with a lot of controversies. It comes with a lot of emotions, sentiments, and sometimes with a lot of misrepresentations and misinformation. So, Prof is, I'm a student of Prof, so you should know that my first degree was in sociology before I veered off into development economics and sociology of development. So I have been his student. So when you call a professor for a keynote speech, you should expect that he would go through theoretical, conceptual, and practical frameworks. And by the time he's done, I'm sure half of the day would have been taken off. So I had sympathies for the MC trying to get the prof to end a lecture. So that's also a warning to organizers of events like this. Each time you bring people who are intellectually grounded, you should also have the patience to listen to them. So next time, make effort to start your program on time. Because in fairness, some of the issues raised in that paper, except you are privy to have that paper, in a hurry to present a paper, misrepresentations can be captured. Because he will make the effort to summarize the paper, and people could take different optics from it. Having said that, because I was involved in out of the 20 years the petroleum industry bill stayed on the floor of the National Assembly, which was the oldest bill that I've ever stayed on the floor of the National Assembly. That bill stayed 20 years, surviving about different Senates and House of Reps members. And when it came out, the best we could have was the Petroleum Industry Act, and we advocated for 7%. We arrived at 50%, 5% for host communities, and we dwelled on having it coming from operational expenses, because if we had harped on capital expenses, it will make companies smarter than you can assume not to meet up to that compliance basis. But sadly, as the case is, we also provided for a transition period when the law came out. And that law today has been subjected to different interpretations. And that's why even host communities, despite setting up their trustees, the challenge therefore now is the execution of such and how such funds will be administered. And mind you that the host and imparted communities section speaks to giving more priority to the host oil and gas company to determine how that fund will go to the host communities, rather than the host communities being the key determinants of what will happen. So what it means is that you may have different conflict of interest. If there are 5 oil companies in your community, you will have 5 trustee companies, and those 5 trustees companies may have different trustees altogether, dependent on what they accept as those who should be trustees. Having spoken to that, there will be room for right of reply at this panel, because I know that Prof alluded to certain issues. The Army is here, Civil Defense is here, and they have the reasons to also give clarity to it. I'm happy that Major General Fadairo is on this panel, because his interface in the past have been a lot in actually combating issues of insecurity. And today, he has been saddled with the responsibility of taking the seat on the Army, Civil and Military Affairs as the chief. And the interesting thing about that unit was born out of the need over time that the military was not interfacing properly with the civil environment. So he would speak and he would give his own right of reply. I will also come to the gentleman officer. We don't have ladies in the military, who is representing the Commandant General of the Civil Defense. She will also speak from that perspective because they have the principal role by the act establishing them to protect infrastructure. Critical, as they say, critical infrastructure of governments, either at subnational and at national levels. Then His Royal Majesty, a man of multiple personalities, and he's traversed military and civil life, and today he's been saddled with the role of being a father to ethnic nationalities. He's also here. He will speak from that perspective. And then to our professional colleague, our teacher, our mentor, and one who also will not leave the pen alone. His Royal Majesty is also here. And then to the epicenter of the pen, the professor himself would also have his own perspective. But I will have a combination to give respect to His Royal Majesty, Dakolo, to first speak to the issues from his experience, because I know that in 2018 to 2021, we had interventions with His Royal Majesty, with Pandev and His Royal Majesty, with Dr. Asuni, to speak to the issues of the Niger Delta, to address these gaps. So I want His Majesty to share his insight, to share his experience on Professor's paper, whether he actually agrees that giving back to communities should be in control of those who are from that community. Because the question we've asked repeatedly, that governors and local governments have been receiving humongous billions in the last 20 years. And we are yet to account for that small one that got to us. How are we certain that when we are totally in control, we can account for it? Your Majesty.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moderator. What we have here is gaps in silence, or silences, in Nigeria with respect to oil and gas industry. And then, as a traditional ruler, what is our role? First and foremost, the traditional ruler is meant to advance the cause of his people, his community, his kingdom, his people, from time immemorial, and that is what we are doing today. Yes, we may not be doing it exactly the same because of our varying backgrounds, but then that is the responsibility. And I've been doing that to the best of my ability. So here the professor has spoken, and I cannot agree any less. He has said it as he knows it. He has said it as the leader of the Ijaw Nation, as the president of Ijaw National Congress. And of course, I'm also a professor of sociology, so why should I say otherwise? So I'll just make some additions. I believe that he has communicated in a professorial way, so let me do it as a traditional ruler, and I think it may be a little clearer for those who were afraid of the big grammars in the professor's piece. So I will start by saying that the oil is found in the Niger Delta. Of course, 1956 was when it was commercially discovered, and then 1958, the first 5,000 barrels were sent to Europe. And since then, the exploitation has continued with pollution. So gas flaring commenced then, and it remains on till this moment as we speak. Now, if you don't live there, or you are not from there, or you just visit there, you won't understand. You have to really be in there to know what has been going on. So basically what I'm saying is that there are people who bear the back-breaking brunt. Every day, the same story. People who are wealthy, but are living as paupers. People whose parents were merchants, traders, who did very well, but now reduced to what I could term mere decay by a nation that is not sensitive, that does not quite understand what has been going on. And why do I say that? Let's take Bayelsa State, for instance. Do you all know that Bayelsa State has, till this moment, only 8 LGAs, only 8 local government areas? And the Nigerian state has smuggled in local governments as federating units in a federation that they are not supposed to be federating units. And everyone believes it. The press takes it that way and tries to educate Nigerians that, well, of course, Nigeria has 774 LGAs. So out of the 774 LGAs, Bayelsa State has 8. So when you take the bulk of oil money from Bayelsa State and you centralize it, and you divide it, how many portions do we get? 8 portions. Yes, 8 portions out of 774. That is what we get. And nobody thinks that there's anything wrong with it. So that is one example. Let us look at something as basic as the Federal Road Safety Corps. You must have heard it before. It's almost 30 years old in this country. The Nigerian state does not consider that there are people living in Gbaramatu, people living in Gbarantora and Brass and Okpama and elsewhere. So there is no riverine safety corps. Did you hear me? There is not one attempt at a riverine safety corps. 2 weeks ago, the federal NHIS or so came for a discussion in Bayelsa State. And then I asked the director, do you have a car? I say, yes. You have a car? Yes. All the directors in NHIS have cars in this country? Yes. Do you have a boat? No boat. So what are you coming to do here? What are you coming to do in Bayelsa State where you're supposed to get to Furupa and Kulama and everywhere without a boat? So that is how odd the Nigerian state is. And that's the way the Nigerian state understands the Niger Delta, which is very unfortunate. I can go on and on. NDLA in my state does not have a boat. I don't know if you heard it. It means that they can only function around Yenagua. You can't go beyond Yenagua to the riverine areas. These are some of the realities on ground. Now, let's just talk about petroleum products. Petroleum products come from crude oil refining. So when you refine crude oil, you get diesel, you get petrol, and so on and so forth. Now, this is, and we use petrol for boats, right? And we use for vehicles as well. Okay? Now, do you know that if you take petroleum products from any refinery in Nigeria up to Yenagua, for instance, you pay a particular price. If you take it from a refinery to Kaduna or Sokoto, the same price. Okay? Now, at that point, you must take it, if you want to take it to Brass, or to Okpama, or to Kulama, or to Fishtown, you are going to offload this petrol, into a boat, into, what do you call them, tanks. Okay? You pay for offloading it into tanks. You pay for hiring the boat that will take it to the town where you want to go and sell it, and then you pay to offload it into another container where you're going to sell it. So if someone in Sokoto, Lagos, or Badagry buys petrol today for 1,000 naira, you're going to buy for 5,000. So we've been paying for higher than the normal price from inception till this moment. The Nigerian state does not consider that, look, we must do something about these persons. And unfortunately, that is where the crude oil comes from. So you get crude oil from me, you pay all the prices to come and get the crude oil. When you refine it, I have to pay the highest price in the universe to allow it function. What I'm saying is that there are no standard filling stations in the LGAs of Bayelsa State that are riverine. Same for Delta State, same for Ondo State, same for River State. So you're expecting things to remain normal when those who are supposed to understand don't understand. And because I don't want to take all the time, let me go a little further to something that is fundamentally wrong with respect to law and order in the Niger Delta, particularly in the creeks of the Niger Delta. As you know, even though the military has done very well in keeping Nigeria the way it is, keeping Nigeria one, and then of course their efforts in the creeks are also applaudable. But how well can your effort be when you don't have the right definition of what you are going there to do? You must have heard of the Joint Task Force. The Joint Task Force was established in 1994, and then they were deployed to the Niger Delta in 1998. If you do the mathematics, they've been around there for about 27 years. The Joint Task Force is supposed to be an internal security operation. Why is it called internal security? It means that that is not what they are normally supposed to do. If the police fails in quelling a riot here in this room, they fail woefully, they are not able to continue. You invite the military to come and do restore order here. So they come, they take over the management of this place, restore order for maybe 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month, or thereabouts, and then they gradually, if 100 of them came, they will reduce it to 50, then 25, 10, and then gradually the police comes back, and then gradually law and order is, that civilians take over, and life goes on. I believe that the JTF in the Niger Delta may be the longest internal security operation in the universe. 27 years to ensure that oil theft is stopped, and so on and so forth.
No, go ahead, Your Majesty.
I thought that something was going wrong. So, 27 years after, what are they supposed to do? The mandate was to say, stop oil thievery, right? Pipeline vandalism and related issues. Okay? And in this period of 27 years, we have even gotten to what is called an all-time low. All-time low means it never low passed like that before. It is only in the last 2-3 years, last 2 years, I think, that it is now picking up again because of efforts like Tantita, and of course, yes, the military is also now reinvigorated and so on and so forth. But why have they failed so badly in this respect? Let me say it today. Now, the military is such that if you tell them, go and bring that man in blue, that is what they are going to do, to go and bring the man in blue. So if you tell them, go to the Niger Delta and restore this and that and prevent oil theft, and you tell them you define for them who an oil thief is, that is what they are going to precisely do. And I can tell you for free that the JTF, or in fact the Nigerian state, has a wrong definition of who an oil thief is. And that is why today, if you go to Kirikiri, for instance, you check all the people that have ever been jailed in the last several decades, you won't see one oil thief there. You go to Kogi prison, you won't see one. You go to Kuje, you won't see one. Because the definition of an oil thief has been wrong. And so they are chasing the wrong target. And once you chase the wrong target, you chase forever. For instance, in this hall, if they say, come and bring a 10-foot tall man, and you enter this hall, you will look forever. You won't see. Even King Spiff is not 7 foot. Okay? So you will go round and round and round and round and round, and you won't find. So that is how bad it is. So let me help with the definition. Now, an oil thief is someone who is not from the Niger Delta. He's not from the creeks of the Niger Delta. If you see his skin, you will know because it shines. It's different from Bala Blue. Yes, jokes apart. Yeah. He will naturally have a private, one or more private jets because he has to move around, slickly and swiftly. And then if he wants to relax, he will have at least one yacht or more. Properties they will have in the best places of Abuja. And then the best places in Lagos, Banana Island, Ikoyi, and such places. And then he will definitely have properties in England and other parts of Europe and America. He does not like the idea of going to the Niger Delta. He cannot sleep in the creeks of the Niger Delta overnight. If he has to go there, he will have military to the left and right, police to the left and right, MOPOL, NSCDC, DSS, Fire Brigade, Red Cross, and all. Above that, he is going to also have doctors and nurses. So that while he's going in the creeks, if he's bitten by a mosquito, they will have to cure him instantly because he should not leave his stash of petrodollars out there and then die. So that is that is the definition of a typical oil thief. Now, so anything that is not in this definition, which means if you are you live in the creeks of the Niger Delta overnight, yeah. Okay, you do not perhaps have the right education, you maybe carry petroleum products in a few jerry cans and all of that. You jump into containers of crude oil every day as a means of earning a living. When you are not, because you don't know that in a while your main thing will stop to work. And then you are definitely going to die of cancer in a few years down the line. Or in a fire hazard, you are nothing but a victim of oil thievery. So when the thieves steal the oil and deprive you of a proper living, you now become tagged an oil thief because you don't have the options that you should have. So this is the definition. And if the Joint Task Force, for instance, had this definition, in fact, if the federal government gave them this, because you cannot steal oil, like I say in some places, and put in your angbako. Angbako is the side of the mouth. You can't put oil in your cheeks. You can't put it in your pockets. You have to put them in vessels. Early last year, there was a vessel that was arrested down in Bayelsa State, around Kulama. It had 90-something thousand barrels of oil in it. What is being stolen in Nigeria today, they said, is in the range of 200,000 barrels. So 90-something thousand barrels is about 50% of what Nigeria loses every day. By November the previous year, November 2023, around Ondo State, the ship was arrested. It had over 100,000 barrels on board. So what is used in stealing crude are vessels. Some get it direct from the terminals where they are exported because they make people to sign something that they don't allow them to look at. So if you look at it, it is like it is a normal process when it is not. I want to end, I still have so much to say, but I want to end
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Wait, I want to end by giving you an example. If I have 100 bags of rice on this platform, and we put a camera around the bags of rice, so that when we go, whatever that happens to them, you will see. And then if there are like 10 rats in this hall, when we go and those rats come out to eat the rice, okay? They will poke holes in every rice bag they see, eat small, they will jump on top of each other, they will pee on top, and particularly if they are black rats, they will look like they are carrying Lassa fever and Ebola and HIV/AIDS and all. It will look very menacing if you are watching it on TV. Either on Gbaramatuvoice or CNN or anywhere, you see it menacing. However, if I come back here wearing jacket and tie, and I come with a vehicle, and I come into this hall, and I take 50 bags and put inside that place, and you're watching it on TV, I will look like the owner of the bags of rice. So you won't see me as a thief. Meanwhile, the rats, you will see them as thieves. Meanwhile, in 6 months, how much rice will have those rats eaten? Not more than this. But in one go, someone who is well-dressed and looking important has taken 50 bags. That is the story of crude oil theft in Nigeria.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Your Majesty has given a new definition of an oil thief.
No, that's the correct definition.
Well, that coloration also is subject to debate because there are different categories of thieves. I think you just gave a clearer example of an executive thief.
But you've been leaving out the real thief now, looking at victims of thievery.
We will have the executive thief, the medium thief, the transporting thief, and also the petty thief. So let me also go from the security perspective and give the floor to Major General Fadairo, who would also speak to the issue.
Thank you very much. Once again, good afternoon to all. I sincerely want to appreciate the presenter on this paper. Because of wanting of time, I won't go over the paper again. But I want to first address the issue of building gaps, which you mentioned in the paper. I want to look at education as a way forward. Education is a tool to overcome the state of poverty, especially in the Niger Delta. I remember being a commander in Port Harcourt sometimes back, and went for one meeting, I think 2017 in Omok. The manager of Ajib in Omok, there was an agitation for the community to produce a personnel manager. And during that meeting, what the manager said, right here now as we are standing, give me somebody from the community that has this qualification, I will employ the person right away. In the whole of, I think they call the place Gbaramatuvoice or something like that, in that Omok general area. Yes, by Gbema. During that meeting, nobody fits into the qualification of that appointment, which boils down to the issue of qualification and education. So I think it's one of the key ways to overcome some gaps. Some of these things are there, but I know it's very contentious. People say, no, we have the qualification, we can do it. You look critically, education is one of the key factors to overcome poverty in the Niger Delta. So it's time for us to go back to the drawing board to improve on the education of the people of the Niger Delta. Then the issue of leadership and accountability at all levels, right from that CSO or the voted community leader that's supposed to liaise between the oil company and the community people, that after collecting some change, it decided to go to only God knows where and to come back after 2 years, and it goes up the ladder like that. I think that it's time for us at all levels to be accountable for the people. At this present stage we are, in our minds, both me and you, we must have the concept of Nigeria first in everything we do. That's what the Americans are trying to do now. For everywhere you go in America, they will say, make America great again. They are making it a topic of discussion in all their spheres of life. Nigeria first in our mind. Before now, or before the advent of petroleum, we have agricultural produce in the southwest. We talk about cocoa. We talk about the pyramids from the north. Then later, we enter the era of tin and coal in the southeast. Then the era of petrol in the south-south. Only God knows what will be our natural mainstream in the country in the next decade. Okay. So to whatever regions the power of this mainstream force, Nigeria first in each in our minds. Then a lot has been said on the issue of security. His Royal Highness mentioned about the Joint Task Force on the need that it has overstayed and everything. So many times that operation has been invented or re-established. And it's not only about the military, the civil defense is there, including prison and custom. And their mandate is not only about protecting oil installation, there's some other issues to it that covers in their mandates. The issue of militancy is there. The issue of sea robbery is there, including protecting our national infrastructure. So until to some extent they achieve that aim and objective, even the army too, they need the forces elsewhere. The Northeast is calling, the Northwest is calling. It's not as if we want to continue to stay in the creeks like that. But there should be some, we must achieve some things in that place. There's something we call operational objective. At the end of a certain period, if you've not achieved what we set out to achieve, I don't think we can scale down that operation. And we are ready to partner with all stakeholders, be it the community, be it with Civilian Joint Task Force, be it with Tantita, or whoever will make us to achieve our mandate in that place, or those that are stakeholders in that industry. We are ready to partner with them. So far, it's Nigeria first that we are trying to achieve the aim and objective of this country. So the military will still continue to be there for now until we achieve our objective and the mandate in which we set out for ourselves. On this note,
Okay.
I'll still come later again.
All right, you'll come later, General. I think because I know you don't have the mandate of the Chief of Army Staff to give me this answer, I would have loved to know what is an actual timeline an operational task force ought to stay to achieve an objective, because it's almost looking like a task force in perpetuity.
No.
So that's why we're asking that question, that one of the oldest task forces in the world that military has ever pushed is in Nigeria, and that's the Joint Task Force in the Niger Delta. So I know you don't have the mandate of the Chief of Army Staff to answer that, okay. But what we want to say is that what should be an average timeline for a military task force to achieve an objective? Because what we thought is something that will be done, and then we will move over to this phase of having real policing that also includes communities. Because the experience over time, and that's what we're beginning to see in all facets of the country, is that we're having multiple task forces all over the country. And the question is, the military is gradually and seamlessly becoming a police force. And now the police are now beginning to act like military people. So the country will continue to ask that question: when and how should a task force operate, and when should it be disbanded?
Okay. I tried to answer that earlier, but I will, for emphasis sake, when you set out for a mission, there is a particular mission you want to accomplish, or a goal, as the case may be. And at the end of that operation, there is something we call an end state. Then after that, you achieve that end state, then you start scaling down the operation little by little. These days, the same way security is evolving, criminality too is also evolving. The way at which oil theft was in the 90s are not the same way they are operating this period also, including all forms of criminality in the Niger Delta, BC robbery, or intercommunal clashes. Things are evolving. And as things are evolving, the operational orders also will also be evolving to counter what is on the ground. So until you accomplish your mission and get to that end state of what brought you to that mission before you start scaling down. For now, we've not reached that stage.
Okay.
Until we reach that stage, then we start scaling down.
So we should see some form
operation.
of optimism to have an end state.
There will be an end state at a particular time.
Let me move to the lady in the house, the gentleman officer from Civil Defense, who we expect to speak to issues of protecting critical infrastructure in the Niger Delta.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me, as usual. As you all know, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has the mandate to protect all critical national assets and infrastructure, both at federal level, state level, and local level. We are everywhere. It's like we are just a grassroots organization. We are found everywhere. Because it's our mandate, we are, even right now, if you even look at this Tantita, our men are currently working with him to make sure Niger Delta is safe, and this vandalism is reduced to the barest minimum. We started this thing since the time of 2000 and in the year 1967, when my Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps came into limelight. And since that time, the federal government has now given us the mandate to protect all critical national assets, and that is what we are doing. So in every aspect of the Niger Delta vandalism, we try to protect everything that is protectable there. So there is nothing that we are really working. We are working very hard to see that Niger Delta is safe in every area of it all. And as we all know, the Commandant General has just said that, sent me to represent him here, that the Corps is in charge of the mandate of protecting critical national assets and infrastructure. There is nothing there is nothing that we cannot protect in every area of our business. And in all, there are lots of challenges in the Niger Delta areas. The first challenge you are having there is the terrain. The terrain is not a very friendly area for members that are from outside Niger Delta because of the difficult terrain of accessing those places. And if you look at itself, most of these things we are talking about, like the pipelines and every other thing, they have been there since inception, since 1960s, even before some of us were born. And some of this infrastructure, as we all know, some of them have overstayed their use. They are not as maybe good as it used to be, because there is nothing that has a beginning that does not have an end. And most of these things are rusty, and a lot of them now have a lot of all this land degradation and every other thing. And some of our youths too, because of maybe not, just as my colleague has rightly said, he said some of them are not educated, because they don't really know what the challenge is all about. So I think we need to synergize more. We need to talk to our people more, because if you actually look at it, it is our property, it is our assets, and it's everybody's assets. It's not just for one particular community. We have to enjoy it. So in that case, it means that you, as a people of the Niger Delta, it is your right to protect those assets. Because I will call for a process whereby even the indigenes will be part of those assets. Because by the time you own a part of it, you know that, okay, it is my asset, I have to protect it with all the rights I have. So you have to protect it with all the rights I have. And it's a process whereby we now say, see something, say something.
Okay, now you've said that, see something, say something. Because there's always this challenge people of the Niger Delta have. I think also we should look at a recruitment process where you bring in people who are not from that terrain to operate in places where they have challenges. Are you considering recruitment so that these persons who come from this environment will take ownership of this protection of critical assets?
Yes, we are. There was a time when we first started this civil defense, when it came into limelight. I remember they told us that the funds were given out to people from Niger Delta. Most of them came to national headquarters, collected the forms, and tore their forms because they thought maybe it was not a viable job for them to join. Yes, they never wanted to join the Corps. But now that they've said that the Corps now is now an enviable place, maybe they want to join it. We can always give them that access to do it.
Okay, so I think after this gathering, those of you who want to join civil defense, she's here. Don't let her go free unless you get the form. So she will see us, right? Because a lot of youths are in this hall who feel they can do that job and can do it better if you give them the opportunity. Do you agree with that? Yes. So you've heard the answer. So His Majesty, Your Majesty, who is also a journalist, and a journalist is a journalist forever. He's a communications expert. He's spoken, extensively about the issues in the Niger Delta. We just want you to make your input, and after that, I will take an input from Professor, and we can then wrap up.
Yes, good afternoon, people. I think the greatest problem we have in the Niger Delta is that of pretense. The pretense is from the government. Each government knows what is good for the people. Each government keeps shifting the goalpost. And that is a problem. Take, for instance, there is a government in Delta now. When that same government wanted to come in, there was nothing people didn't say. The man who wants to come in is not a grammarian. Do you need grammar to lead people? What you need is action. So for the first time in the history of Delta State, Julius Badgers are working. Flyovers are everywhere. Is it with grammar that we're getting those things? Once you are doing well, government and the oil company have a way of frustrating people. Let's take Tantita as a case study. Is there anybody in this house that says that Tantita is not doing well? Then who is fighting Tantita? The publications you are reading, where are they coming from? They sent something to me about 2 months ago that I'm a contractor. Contractor? I say, yes. What am I contracting for? So I'm a contractor to Tantita. I say, eh. He said, all the jobs of Tantita in my place, I'm the one doing it. I begin to wonder, what was my offense? Tantita came, I met them, create a job for my boys, from people from my kingdom. And the job was created. Those who didn't get, who didn't want it at that time, are the one wanting it now. So the only way to get more is to blackmail the king. Should I take such blackmail?
No.
So this is the question. If you are doing well and government is encouraging you, there was a time I told government, you want crude oil theft to stop? All pipeline security in the Niger Delta, give it to Tantita.
All right.
Did they follow that instruction? So, what are we trying to say? Are we saying that if you want to construct a bridge from Warri to Gulaha, that our boys here will stop them? Is that what we are saying? General, let us get something very clear. The eras are gone. That used to be a blackmail. When they say, people are not educated. In my kingdom, the first Urobo woman to be a vice chancellor, Professor Mrs. Oteto Okobia, he's from Ijere. The former chief judge of Bayelsa State, Honorable Justice Margaret Akpomyemi, is from Ijere. I have 14 professors in my kingdom. 2 of them are women. I even have an upcoming professor now, less than 40. She's an associate professor of law. There is no kingdom in the Niger Delta today where you don't have 10, 20 professors. Go to Agbon. They have an association of professors. Yes. So what type of qualification are they looking for? The oil company working in my kingdom, they call it Seplat. There was a time the IMD came. The man, you saw them, they see him. So I saw it an opportunity. I recommended 6 persons with masters in petroleum, geology, marketing and everything. 3 years after, none of them have been taken as a staff. So, only this year, I've recommended up to 40 persons. They want to go to, what they call it, the academy, police university. Those who don't go, no, the one in
Kano.
So the traditional ruler will write, I will even put my passport. I have recommended 8 persons only this year. At my own risk. Because the king before me recommended somebody to police college. You didn't know the guy was a criminal. So as soon as he graduated, we don't know how he got a gun. He came back and started terrorizing people. But for the fact that my predecessor's brother was a serving AIG, you know the implication when you recommend somebody and the person turned out to be a bad person. But for 5 years, all those have been recommended. They turn out to be good. So I'm lucky. We keep recommending our children to go. How many of them are they taking? I just woke up 3 days ago. I saw that there's a new depot in Oshogbo. I thank President Tinubu. You know what our children go through when they go to Zaria. So we will get more of our children to be able to get into the military. Get home the point. Our boys, our daughters are highly educated and highly skilled. So, let nobody get us blackmail that we don't have this, we don't have. Take me anywhere in the world. The last time I went to Atlanta to deliver a lecture to white men, their senator stood up to applaud my presentation. And so, the days are gone when you say our people are not educated. Carry me anywhere. Is it in English we are going to speak there? I will speak to them. The truth of the matter is, use development to silence unrest. Use development to challenge militancy. and see if anybody will stop you. Nobody will stop you. The point is, our people are yearning for development. I spent 13 hours from Sapele to Abuja yesterday, even with security and siren blowing. Because when the road is not good, will you fly? And the type of crowd that I carry, can you fly them? You can't fly them. So the issue is, as patriotic as we are the only region in this country who you take his product, take his property, and we are still laughing. Are we fighting every day? If you take 13%, for instance, as a yardstick of judgment, we have 100,000. Federal government keep it for us. The only one you can give to us back is 13 naira. Can 13 naira solve our problem? And the law that established 13% clearly state that after 10 years, review it. The 13% is the lowest. Have they reviewed it? Then, General, let's talk to ourselves. If as I am here now, you give me a federal university. We're talking of education. From Arugbo to Bakassi, in Cross River, how many higher institutions do we have? The one they call Nigerian Maritime University. I know what some of us went through to get it there. Only recently they signed the B. After many years, the university was functional, there was no B. Establish more school there. We have people that will go. Kabi, bring more industry there. The last time, a former GMD of NNPC came to Gbaramatu, and I had the opportunity to make a presentation. And I asked him, Milikiari, MD, he says, sir, how did you come to Gbaramatu? He said he came by shopper. I said, you came wrongly. You should have come by boat. This is how we come here. We lost a traditional ruler in the Delta. You know what happened to the traditional ruler? He went to the anniversary of the Ebenanawe of Ogulaha Kingdom. He has not traveled on speedboat before. When he saw the wave, he immediately got stroke. That was how he died. But if you fly that man, then will he die? No. So, let's silence our people with development project, with educational project, with infrastructure. Doing so, our patriotism will be more. That we can do more. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Your Royal Majesty. I'm sure you all concur with him. Okay, that's good. That means that this discourse is actually yielding the required result. You know, I recall that when this issue of agitation was being handled and the amnesty program started, under the DDR program, what we didn't do was to add the extra D. We did disarmament, demobilization, and rehabilitation, but we did not do de-radicalization. Mm-hmm. But what was also very fundamental was that 4 key instruments were created. The Ministry of the Niger Delta Development Commission, the Presidential Amnesty Program, and also the Presidential Initiative on Education. I know that the amnesty program handled for the last 10 years scholarships. Yes. That ex-agitators went to universities. Novena University alone has churned out 2,000 graduates of ex-agitators, not just with first degrees, masters and PhDs. So if we are looking for capacity, let's look at the database of the universities that have churned out Niger Delta citizens who pro and post agitation, you know, have been put in the streets today. I can tell you from the database, I know the amnesty program has groomed over 24,000 ex-agitators in terms of scholarships. So there are many of them waiting for opportunities to be given. So they go away from that stipend they get every month coming from government. So what we're saying is there are opportunities in Niger Delta, and the best way to go about is also bringing about development to those areas to equip people. Lastly, this misconception of the media tag, someone asked the question, how did Niger Deltas become suddenly addressed as militants? So once you say you are from the Niger Delta, you are called a militant. Once you say you are from the northeast, you are called a Boko Haram. Once you say you are from the northwest, they call you a bandit. So how do we get those connotations and colorations? And I think it's important that this narrative changes for those who are media professionals to give appropriate correlations to the generality, not by using what a minority has done to give it to every other person. So in closing, Prof, I want you to say a few words. Professor, a few words.
Ils ont comme mieux. Oui, bien beaucoup on parle mieux. Ado. Okay. How few? I think let me thank the Royal Majesty, the Benanawi of Ikpitiama Kingdom, the chairman of CITRE, for agreeing with the salient issues I raised in my original presentation, and for also providing some explanation and clarifications. You see, in solving a problem, you must first have an understanding of what the issues are. In research, we talk about operationalizing those concepts. If you don't put those concepts in context, perspective, or in context, you do the wrong thing. You ask, what is the origin? It's different from what is the geography. So the military, the government, need to have a perfect or a clear, perfect understanding of what the Niger Delta question is. You need to understand, in so doing, you can begin to look at, interrogate the various issues by providing this. But when you have a wrong notion, for instance, though my king, I needed to just reiterate this. Saying we are not educated is a blackmail. Serious blackmail. We've gone beyond that long, long ago. We are well educated. We have been educated. In fact, if I had enough time, I will even tell you. In the annals of Nigerian educational system, the first set of journalists, in fact, Enesicoli was the first journalist. Yeah? Yes, in this country. Yes, it's from Nembe, in Bayelsa State. The first person to sail a ship to England is a German. First set of professors. The set of professors, Papa Clark and all that, right? John Pepper Clark and so many. We have so many persons. So the issue is that the hegemonic forces in this country have decided to blackmail the minorities so that they can impose. In fact, like I said earlier, this is internal colonialism. We suffered it under the British, and when the British did two evil. One, they handed over government to the ethnic groups with more population, and they also decided to ethnicize the politics of this country. So they are hanging on that to do exactly what we're doing. I said earlier, when by the first constitution on the derivation, when cocoa was found in the West, it was 100% derivation. And they paid appropriate taxes and used that to build all the infrastructure in the West. When granite became the mainstay of the economy, at some point, we have granite pyramids and all that. Did they share those pyramids to our people here? They used it to develop the north. So why the paradigm shifts in our derivation principle from 50% to one time nothing? 0%. In the name of reconciliation and what have you, the post-Civil War three hours. We had nothing. We had 1.5, today is 13. And we are saying it is not acceptable. It is injustice. And when you are unfair to a people, I've said it several political fora, nationally, that when you are unjust to a people, there is a natural law of justice. The man who produces something, God in his infinite mercy, knows that in this difficult terrain that you have talked about, madam, these people need this. In this difficult terrain, they need correspondence abundance so that they can match their difficult terrain with the resources they have. God is a God of justice. It is man, because of their wickedness and insensitivity, have decided to exploit the people, cheat them, manipulate them, degrade them, exploit, give them a wrong name, so that they continue to advance. And I've said it all, it will not go well with Nigeria. I'm ready to say it severally. Unless this country intentionally, yes, I will say it to, even to Nuba, I will tell him, it will not be well with this country, because we all belong to this country, until we intentionally develop the place where the wealth of this nation is coming from. It can never be well. You cannot exploit, cheat a people. You can never steal a people and have peace. It's not possible. It's a fundamental principle. I did not create it. Cheating is evil. And that is exactly what we are doing. Well, we are not asking, I'm coming.
Okay.
You said, let me tell you, when we say resource control, and on account of that, you say we are militants. We are militants, yes. I'm a militant. If you are afraid of bearing militancy, and Professor Kaba is a militant. I'm an intellectual militant. I don't go to war, but I use my pen, I use my tongue to interrogate the issues and say the truth. And the truth pains them. We will not relent. It's not a threat, but it's a reality. We will not relent until we get justice. That is why I said, until we get justice, we will not relent. Whether you put a knife here, or put a gun here, people have died, and people will continue to. In fact, the ecosystem of the Niger Delta is aggrieved to a point where we are now pursuing a self-determination agenda. So it's a call on everybody. Let us allow justice to prevail. We ask issues of, you say you are demilitarizing, and that you have to take some period. Yes. Have you taken time to evaluate your modus operandi? If we are applying a particular formula to solve a mathematical problem and it's not working, you have to adopt another one. What we have seen all over is that it's continuous use of the same intimidation, using of this and all that, in the same system, so it will not provide any answer. So if you must stay, you must also do a proper evaluation of the tactics, your strategies you have deployed all over the years. If the intention is to actually bring peace, we begin to ask those questions and interact more with the people. Let the military or the administration be with the people. We are ready to offer this thing, our solutions to whatever you are saying. So lastly, you asked the question that the Niger Delta people are asking for resource control, and that the little that is given, there are complaints they are not using it well. So if you give them more, are you sure they will do it well? It's another way of saying that we have corruption in the DNA of Niger Deltas, and that is very fallacious. It's unacceptable. Give us our resources and allow us to manage it. It's not your business. Give it to us. When you are taking cocoa, groundnuts, even the gold, have you asked any question? Or is corruption located to any region or any person? No. Corruption is a phenomenon in this country. You find it everywhere. So you cannot say because of corruption, okay, why not deny Nigerian government resources because they are corrupt? Are they not corrupt? Is the Nigerian federal government not corrupt? So why not deny resources to Nigerian government? So please, don't use management and all that. Those are all blackmails. Go back, maybe you had this experience some 10 years ago. Go to Bayelsa, you see the developments in Bayelsa. Human development in Bayelsa. Go to Delta, I talked about Delta. Go to Rivers. Wike did massively. The best governor in Nigeria. Yes, in terms of infrastructure. These are Niger Delta. We are governors. Go to the bridges that are taken in this state, high quality bridges in Delta State. So those blackmails will not work. Give us what is our own, so that we can manage our territory. Those endangered, sorry, those difficult terrain, madam. When the difficult terrain is not difficult when you want to make money from there. Abi? When you want to exploit oil, the area is not difficult. It is to build it that is difficult. So give us our resources and our difficult terrain. We are going to use them to manage ourselves. Manage ourselves.
Thank you, Prof.
Gbaramatuvoice.
You now got an executive summary from Prof. You can see how brief Prof can be. I told you it's my Prof, so you know, when you meet those of them who stayed in the academia, I ran away from the university because of this kind of exercise. Prof will interrogate and postulate and then profile solutions at the same time. So I know General Fadairo has extensively spoken about how the military is interfacing. Interestingly of note, I want to also let you know that he is the one who is now saddled with the responsibility of speaking now and interrogating relationships with civilians. So he's the head of military civil affairs. So anything you think you want to have a conversation with him, because I know by the time you get to his office, people will start to ask you questions and all that to see him. He's available after this session to see him. Civil defense is available. The Royal Majesties are also available. So we will give room for two questions. Two questions, not comments. Questions. Your Majesty, I will come to you, sir. No, hold on. We'll give room for two questions. Please, just tell us your name and go straight to the point. Don't thank anybody. You know, don't show any appreciation. We know that you are appreciative of what we are doing. Thank you. Just go straight to the point. And if someone has already asked the question you wanted to ask, let it go. And just say simply, I pass. So just indicate if you have a question to ask. Okay, one. There's a gentleman there.
Now, can we have the microphone from the back come to the front? So
okay, just hold on. His Majesty Dietrich Spieth will speak, and after that, you can ask your question, sir. Right? Please direct the question to a specific person. Don't ask questions that everybody should answer because of time.
Eyes on. Is that me? Or no? I think I just want to add to one sector. Gas flaring is not been mentioned at all. I keep telling everybody that I can get the gas flaring stopped in 1 year flat. We can convert the gas, and there's a company which has the equipment, and they can put the gas in, and out will come LPG, butane, ethylene, straight off for the asking, and the equipment doesn't cost that much. Those who are impacted, who are getting all the effect of the gas flaring, we're supposed to be giving some money, because the money being collected by government as penalty should be going to those who are impacted. So you have the whole school there. For years and years and years, they have been dangling 100 billion naira over the last 25, 30 years. nothing is coming out. The value of the money is gone so far. If not, we would have been able to get that money and stop the gas flaring.
Please, let's have one house.
So I thought that should have been mentioned along the line. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Majesty. You've spoken extensively. We'll recognize
we have traditional rulers here. The Gbaramatuvoice, yeah. His Royal Highness Oboro Vara, the Aketekpe Agadagba, the Pere of Gbaramatuvoice Kingdom is here. His Royal Majesty Barrister P.S. Erebotulu, Pere of Kambowe Kingdom, is also here. His Royal Majesty Ezekumo is also here. His Royal Majesty Pere S.S. Luke Kalanama is also here. And His Royal Majesty Godwin Goibo, the Agadagba of Olodiama Kingdom, is also here.
all right. No, just give him fairness. Okay, the gentleman who has a question to ask, you can ask your question now so that we can wrap up and close. Yes. Okay.
Let's take a question.
Your name?
Please, just hold on. Please, can we have some decorum in the hall? Thank you. Thank you so much. Go ahead, please.
And also, sorry, cameramen, be fair to people who came for programs. You have the habit of always notoriously blocking people because you're getting a view that others won't see. So those in the hall are actually being marginalized by what you are doing. We are talking about marginalization now, and cameramen are joining in the thing. So cameramen, adjust your camera so that the guy can be captured properly.
My name is Umindoa Peregbewi Stanley. My question goes to the INC president. President, sir, I want to ask, what are the modern techniques we, the young coming youths that are agitating for resource control, that our leaders have been agitating for years? Because you ask the military officer, if you apply a formula that it seems not working, you must adopt a new formula. So what advice can you give us as young coming Niger Delta youth that we are going to apply that's going to work for us for agitation of resource control? Thank you, sir.
Prof, sir, you gave me the mandate and you gave me the permission, sir. Prof, provide the solution briefly, sir.
Okay, in two sentences. In two sentences that might be long with punctuations. There is deliberate effort put in place by the INC under my leadership for a shift in paradigm from militancy, violent militancy, destroying our own environment in the name of protest, to civil and strategic engagement. Civil and strategic engagement. When we visited the Buhari administration, we presented a 5-page paper articulating our demands. And we also provided solutions. Some of the solutions actually included the fact that the IOCs that operate in our region should return their headquarters. That was one. And two, we also talked about the artisanal refineries. In in many climes, there's nothing illegal about that. Because if you want to stop something, you must provide a credible alternative. If you want to stop bunkering, then why not empower the people who have been involved, right? Create modular refineries and engage them, sell the crude legally to them. Again, it costs money. And we have called on even the federal government to provide assistance. We are ready to form cooperatives. But even when Osubanjo was so convinced about the establishment of modular refineries and all that, we have difficulties in understanding why the government will not listen to the pleas. The DHSP has just mentioned a solution. I want to challenge them. Somebody has said he has what it takes to stop a monumental problem in this country. Crisis, in the first place, gas flaring is a waste. What will have been transformed into economic ventures is wasted. And look at the environmental impact also. But I'm sure over the years, people have said we can do it. It's a challenge to us whether this one will see the light of day. And he has said it will not take much. I know also in the petroleum, in the Department of Petroleum, this is my resources. In Africa, I've also developed techniques for addressing some of these issues. But these always end in the bookshelves. Nobody look at them. Because we have a system whereby we have free oil and gas is free to government now. You just enter partnership with the companies, and at the end of the day, you pay you. Then 36 states will not queue and get it. So we don't bother because it does not actually affect us. So what we are saying in the first place that we are articulating the problems and also providing solutions. Now, secondly, we have also escalated these issues to international communities. We have internationalized the struggle. We're engaging similar organizations. My secretary is here, and we bear witness to the fact that we met with the European Union, president of European countries. We met with them and presented the Niger Delta position. We're in Texas. We addressed an international conference articulating these issues. As we speak, we are making more efforts. Right? We are making more efforts. So what we are saying is that, please, that era of vandalism is over. Let us destroy ourselves. Let us use the pen. We are educated people. Right? We should not go and... protests are okay. Like there was a protest today. Yes. Because you have abandoned... you decide to lay off unjustifiably. It's just that I'm working in this thing. So you have NNPC as a company. How many Niger Delta are a member of that company? You should make property. You can't keep quiet. Right? Now, before, was it some 3 years ago, there were some roads that were to be constructed in Niger Delta in Nigeria. There was none in the Niger Delta. In fact, the only one was about 8 kilometers. And where are these monies coming from? The monies you are going to use in constructing the roads all over the place are coming from the region, but you are giving it a paltry about 2.something%. So, in all of this, let us see, because the world is hearing, right? We will continue to persist that these things are wrong, and use every fora. If you have youth organization meetings, say it. If you use the social media, if you make one point, the whole world will hear you. We have other similar organizations all over. They will come to our aid. We believe one day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's Professor's submission. Chief. Okay, General Fadaro has something to say, sir. So, just briefly, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm so sorry to bring us back. Just have an observation, and I don't want us to go with a different mindset. What I said about the education was that we can use it to bridge the gap, and not that the people from particular area does not have the qualification, just to bridge the gap. Okay. Because of the discourse we are having. Then finally, I sincerely share in the presenter's passion, his enthusiasm, and his nationalist. But I want to use myself as an example. For the past 6 years or thereabout, I've been in the field. I was in the Northeast as a commander for 2 years. From the Northeast to the Northwest again as a commander. And I just came to town this year. We toil day and night to make this country great. And we as leaders, what we say at times, in as much that we are agitating, we are boiling, we need to be a little bit civil with it. It is well with this country because of those boys out there in the Northeast fighting to make this country great. Thank you very much.
Okay. We thank you very much for your service. Thank you for the military who stand the wall while we go to bed. We thank all those in the security services who have given up their lives and sacrificed for this country. We acknowledge that. We also acknowledging the fact that there's a need for the government to address injustices at all levels, be it Niger Delta, be it Northeast, be it anywhere in the country. Appropriate justice system makes people at peace at home. And like we say, all wars fought end up at the table with a conversation. So sometimes it's always enviable for us to develop strategies that will make us sit at the table to always talk rather than carry guns. Because they will always tell you that a gun is a last resort, and even at that, after that last resort, you come back to talk on the table again. So with that, having said that, I want to thank all of you for your patience. We also sincerely apologize that we kept you here waiting for hours because some of our dignitaries had flight shifts. You can see that the traditional rulers who came all the way from Gbaramatuvoice just arrived now, given the shift in his flight schedules. And then we'll thank His Majesty, who out of passion for this program, spent 13 hours on the road. It's not easy. And you know now the airlines are not being friendly with their fares. So anyone who is flying and is flying regularly, I will begin to suspect you, given the definition of His Majesty Dakolo, that the person is polished, has private jets, comfortable, escorted. So I'll start looking at some of my friends who walk around like that with suspicion going forward. So I want to thank all of you. You've been wonderful. I'll thank also the commandant of the Nigerian Army Public Relations School, the NASPRI, and his deputy, and the other officers who are here. We thank Civil Defense. We thank students. We thank those, the enthusiastic supporters of Gbaramatuvoice. We say thank you very much and do have a pleasant day.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Dr. Monday. Please, I would like for our distinguished panelists to step forward. We're going to have a photograph. Then also, I'll welcome the publisher and managing director of Gbaramatuvoice. He will join here. Also permit me to also welcome a member of the House of Representatives, who is right here, Right Honorable Julius Pandi, representing Brutu Federal Constituency and Chairman, House Committee on South-South, to also join in this. And the representative of one of our key sponsors, who is Manager Communications, Chevron Nigeria, Mid-Africa Region, Mr. Victor Anyeg-Budike. Mr. Victor Anyeg-Budike would also like you to join in this other photograph. The Commandant, Army Public Relations, sir, kindly join in this order of photograph. Dr. Harrison, Professor Harrison, sir. Professor Tosa Harriman. Professor Harriman, thank you, sir. Kindly join in this photograph. Professor Harriman, please. Your Excellency, sir. DHSP, sir. please join in this auto photograph. Thank you so much, sirs. Now, can we have the ushers try to clear the stage for just 2 more activities?
Everybody shift back so that you can get space for Papa.
Just put the chair back so that we can have space for the photograph. Thank you.
Okay, we can just turn a little sideways so that we can take a picture. Once you are done, tell us so.
Thank you, sirs. Thank you so much, sirs. Thank you so much, Jeff. Permit me at this point to welcome Right Honorable Julius Bundy, member representing Burutu Federal Constituency, and the chairman, South Committee, for a 2-minute goodwill message, please. Thank you so much, sir. Right Honorable Julius Bundy.
Thank you for having me. My name is Julius Gbaramatuvoice. I represent the very industrious people of Burutu Federal Constituency. I'm an Ijoma from Delta State. Currently the chairman, last committee, South Development Commission, 2 months ago. But before 2 months ago, I was chairman, last committee on environment across country. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be part of history. That Gbaramatuvoice that was known, that started very small in the creeks of the Niger Delta, metamorphosed to what it is today. Not only being in Abuja, but celebrating 10 years. 10 years in doing business. 10 years in speaking on behalf of us, speaking the minds of the people of the interior creeks of our region, in addition to national and global issues. I want to thank the CEO for all you have done. I want to thank you for the things you continue to do. You've extended our stories across our shores. We are grateful. Our panelists we met here, I enjoy the discussions, quite interesting. I also wanted to ask 1 or 2 questions, but now I have the opportunity to say 1 or 2, because in our business, we get our payment at the end of the day for talking and listening to each other. So let me start by saying that I grew up in the creeks of our region. I saw firsthand how businesses were being carried out by the IOCs, and I saw marginalization firsthand. I saw oppression as well. When I came in here, I met the general that was speaking. I don't want to make it look like it's about us and the military, no. These are issues that bother us as a people. Now I'm in government as well. We have asked questions even when we were in government. Under the former Chief of Army Staff, Buratai, then I was in the Army Committee. Then there was a reason for us to have discussions. And I asked this question that I'm going to put before you. You're not going to answer again, but maybe. But if you are magnanimous enough, you can just say one or two. Now, some time ago, I stood in National Assembly in 2017 while I was making presentation, and I described myself as a militant, a lawmaking militant. And still, I'm here. Like Professor Koba put it, he is a militant, but he's using pen. But I'm a lawmaker, I'm still a militant. That is in our DNA as usual people. We also believe that you cannot fight all your life. You fight some other times, you sit down, you discuss. Now, I asked the general that came there that whether in Nigeria is different approach to issues in different areas. You know, I asked that question because when Boko Haram became very, very aggressive and offensive, and the Buratai made a comment himself, this is what he said, that the Boko Haram people lived among their people, so it's difficult to identify them. What Buratai, we say in Vanguard, Google will say it there. And I asked questions. So what it means is that if Boko Haram destroys anything or kill anybody, military person case maybe, they don't go to the community to burn down the community. They try to isolate and look for those persons that commit the atrocity. But what happened in Niger Delta? When it goes wrong, when one unscrupulous element kills a military man, it is a war. Whether babies are not spared, women are not spared, communities are not spared, they are burnt down to the ground. So why not use the same method that the people stayed among their people? So let's do condone and search. How do you call it in the military? Yeah. So you just try to isolate because Nigerian military intelligence is very solid. I know, so if they want to work. So in Niger Delta, I remember in OD, the incident happened some miles away from the community, but the Nigerian army ventilates their anger on the people of OD. At the end of the day, for the only 3 buildings that were standing when the assault on OD was completed. It happened in Gbaramatuvoice as well. It happened in Ayakroma as well. So, Nigerian military, is it that the people of Niger Delta region are more, what is the word? Are they hated by Nigerians to the point that we cannot apply the same method that is used in other region, in our region? That is one question. 2, the people of the Niger Delta have suffered immensely, and that is suffering. Under President Olusegun Obasanjo, is it? I want to believe, 700 million naira was used to build one floating fuel station. The mindset then was that since we stay in waterlogged areas, these floating fuel stations would help to sell fuel to the locals. That was the intention then, sir. We have 12 of these fuel stations across the Niger Delta region. We have in Akwa Ibom, we have in Delta, we have in Ondo, Edo, everywhere, rivers. As we speak today, those fuel stations are wasted. So, if you are selling fuel in the fuel pump here in Abuja for, how much is it sold now? 800 and something or 900 and something now. We have never bought fuel for 900 and something in our place since the last 20 years. It's always 3 times the price. That is what our people have suffered. As we speak now, SARS, if those fuel stations are not removed, since they're not being put into use, they will become wreck, and they will also becomes dangerous to users of the waters. That is 2. 3, I believe that the Nigerian state is not being fair to our people. You cannot militarize our people in the disguise of protecting your facilities. We are against any attempt to destroy natural assets. But you know what? I believe, personal opinion, that the locals will help you to protect them more than the people you are bringing from Kano, from Abuja, from Sokoto, whom are not familiar with the area. Now, do a little arithmetic, simple one, mathematics. Go to Gbaramatu, go to Ogola, you see like Gbaramatu, like 3 gunboats, gun houseboats, houseboat housing gunmen, Nigerian military. Now, maybe 60, 70 rooms houseboats. How much will you use to acquire such houseboat for that purpose? Maybe more than ₦1 million per day. That is excluding the personnel, excluding the fueling, excluding the feeding. We have in, that is Gbaramatu alone. In Ogola, Brutu, we have in everywhere. Now put that amount daily into perspective. The feeding and the fueling, you need light. All of that together. To photocopy that per year, you will understand that if that money alone is used for development, there will be no work. No work. No work. But we are where we are now. Gbaramatu people are turning out graduates from university. The usual people, we must also commend government for putting some initiative in place. The amnesty program is doing very, very well in some areas. I must commend them because they have educated so many young people that can square up with anybody in the world. A young boy, Fetimi Balogun, made first class in the Philippines and called me that is a record that hasn't been broken for 49 years, he broke it. And he didn't do masters. I told him that with that kind of qualification, you don't need to go to do masters, you go straight to PhD. He thought I was joking, and he Googled it, and as I speak to you now, he's running up his PhD in Glasgow, somewhere in Glasgow, in the University of Glasgow. So, I thank all of you for having me here. These issues, we continue to speak them. For me, no matter who or is God, we will speak these things, because one person will die one day, and after that, there is judgment. I don't know, but for me, whatever the judgment comes, we will take it. As a country, we need to look critically into the people that have sustained us for the past 50 years. 50 years. Nigeria has been producing oil. Abuja is very fine. Lagos is fine. But the people that are producing oil is very dirty. You go to Chevron, there's a wall, a thin wall, just one fence. Inside the fence is the company. Outside the fence is the host community. Inside the fence, they drink the kind of water we are drinking here. Outside the fence, they drink a colored water. Side by side, heaven and hell. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. God will bless you and bless you again. Thank you very much.
Well, no comments. No comments. Please, Honorable Julius Pandi, member representing Burutu Federal Constituency and Chairman, House Committee on South-South. Thank you so much for those sincere words. Now, some important announcements just coming in, and my appreciation to His Excellency, His Royal Majesty, DHSP, who sent us this information, and this is for young people in this hall. There is a call by ITF for nationwide free vocational training, and we have 24 categories of discipline, and the advice from His Excellency is that every young people in this hall apply. And the areas of scaffolding, embroidery, housekeeping, masonry, painting and decoration, designing, POP, animal husbandry, waiter, floor supervisor, sewing, roofing, iron, steel and reinforcement, post-harvest, plumbing and pipe fitting, tiling, electrical installation, welding and fabrication, carpentry and joinery, crop production, poultry farming, automobile mechanic, cybersecurity, front desk officer, and many more. Please apply. If you don't apply, it's your money. We'll move on. Announcement. Tomorrow is the grand finale, and well, we'll take a little bit of the announcement about that, but again, we're starting event by 4 p.m. tomorrow for the grand finale, and it's a gala night and award night. Media, shortly you need to play the promo for us to have a feel of the promo, but it promises to be very, very fantastic, as we have dignitaries from all walk of life that will be honored, and it's a special event climaxing the 10th anniversary of Gbaramatu Kingdom. At this point, Gbaramatuvoice rather. At this point, you're very distinguished. Please let me welcome the Chief Operating Officer of Gbaramatuvoice, Mrs. Vanessa Abai, to give us the vote of thanks. While media get ready with the promo, please. Thank you so much. Please put your hands together for the COO, Gbaramatuvoice.
Distinguished royal fathers, respected leaders, eminent dignitaries, partners, friends, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the publisher, management, and the entire Gbaramatuvoice team, I stand here with immense gratitude to extend our heartfelt appreciation. First, we thank God for granting us the privilege to mark this milestone, 10 years of telling the Niger Delta story with courage and commitment. We deeply appreciate our royal fathers for their presence, guidance, and blessings. Your support continues to give strength and legitimacy to our work. To our keynote speaker, panelists, and special guests, we say thank you for sharing your wisdom and enriching today's conversation with insights that will continue to guide the Niger Delta and Nigeria at large. To our dignitaries from government, industry, civil society, and the media, your presence here is not just an honor to Gbaramatuvoice, but also a testament to the value of dialogue and collaboration in building a stronger future. To our partners, sponsors, and supporters, we deeply value your contributions, both seen and unseen. Without your encouragement and your partnership, this day would not have been possible. And to the entire Gbaramatuvoice team, you have worked tirelessly, sometimes behind the scenes, to make today a success. I say thank you for your dedication, professionalism, and passion. Finally, to all our guests seated here today and those following us across the world through our platform, your presence and engagement give us the strength to continue this journey. As we close today's public lecture and look forward to the Niger Delta 9th of Honor, let us carry forward the spirit of unity, dialogue, and progress that today has symbolized. Thank you, and God bless us all.
And a big thank you to the COO of Gbaramatuvoice. Now, just before we go, may I ask that just 2 minutes. We have this event being streamed on several platforms globally. We just want you to do something. You're going to have a selfie, just a very quick selfie, and you will send it to hashtag at Gbaramatuvoice 10. Hashtag Gbaramatuvoice 10. Can we just bring out our phones? Just do selfie. We have prominent individuals in Nigeria here. You want to have a selfie with them and send it hashtag Gbaramatuvoice 10. Can we put it on the screen? Hashtag Gbaramatuvoice 10 together in one word. Can we do that in 90 seconds, please? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Can we do that in 90 seconds? Just have, yes, please go ahead and do that. And you send it hashtag at Gbaramatuvoice 10. Put it on Twitter, Facebook. The handle is available. Hashtag at Gbaramatuvoice 10. Can we put it on the screen? Hashtag at Gbaramatuvoice 10. Hashtag Gbaramatuvoice 10. Hashtag Gbaramatuvoice 10. Just one word. The multimedia, please, could you put it up? Hashtag Gbaramatuvoice 10. Just one word, please. Can we do that? 30 seconds. Yes, thank you so much. I'm seeing some people doing it already. Thank you so much. Media, get ready for the national anthem as we close. Media, get ready. National anthem, please. Thank you so much. May I ask that we rise on our feet now as we take the national anthem in closing of this ceremony. The national anthem. Truth and justice reign in peace of battle honor as this victim stay. Whose hand unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and justice, Nigeria may be blessed. Thank you once again. You're very distinguished. Thank you, Royal Fathers, and thank you, the senior military officers and generals. Thank you so much. Again, a quick reminder of the Niger Delta Night of Colors and Awards tomorrow, right here in this complex at the Congress Hall, 4 p.m., red carpet. Congratulations to the management and team of Gbaramatuvoice. Congratulations. Media, can we have the promo play?
Okay. Oh. All that they are
of High Chief Wellington Bobo, the Europa way of Gbaramatuvoice.
all right. Knowing that you're from Gbaramatu Kingdom, you definitely have a whole lot to say regarding the theme of this public lecture, the gaps and silences in Nigeria's economy, appraisal for resource control, security, and media dynamics. So what do you have to say about this?
Well, I came in here to this Gbaramatuvoice event today and tomorrow when I'll be going back. I am very much satisfied with what I saw. The issues, they were discussed elaborately. And the problem of the Niger Delta, Professor Kaba spoke, and some other leaders, the Joe leaders spoke. He spoke very well, and if I had spoken, I wouldn't speak more than what they have said. And now, to the team of Gbaramatuvoice, they have done their best. They cannot do more than that. And I hope and wish that they continue to excel and do more. And I, as the leader in Gbaramatu Kingdom, has the intent to continue to advise and try all my possible best, all in my power, to see that Gbaramatuvoice move forward more than this. The next time, I'm going to attend to it in Europe somewhere.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. It's been awesome speaking with you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
Once again, introduce yourself.
I am Tosan Harriman. I am the chairman at Editorial Board Gbaramatuvoice.
Yes, so talking about being the chairman of the editorial board of Gbaramatuvoice, yes, and going in line with our public lecture theme, do you think the media, especially Gbaramatuvoice, has done enough in telling the stories and the struggles of what's on ground?
Precisely that, they've done it because, like I said, and I made some work over the night, and I was just saying Gbaramatuvoice is a deviation from the conventional press, because at the level of its engagement, it has actually been able to take issues from the conventional procedures that we're used to indigenous eventuations of the activities of our peoples in the Niger Delta. Now, for example, for the first time, you're hearing things like there is a Federal Road Safety Commission, but we don't have a Federal Water Safety Commission. So who caters for the kids and kings of peoples in the area that are categorized as Niger Delta? Most of those things were issues that were discussed today. And of course, you heard from the keynote address that we have so many profound stops, so many profound silences that has not been really looked into. And the way it seems, it would be assumed that the Nigerian state is actually not taking the issues of the Niger Delta serious. And what Gbaramatuvoice has done today is to bring to the front burners all these discussions and then to probably also achieve the context of a resolution, because like I wanted to even say in the course of our discussion, that our nation's national discourse, especially those that has to do with the Niger Delta, sometimes feel like a minefield. That it becomes very difficult for anyone to maintain a witness in this very divisive nature of discussion. So we're looking at a situation where people should be able to be realistic. There has to be a forward and backward integration. We have to look at how we got to where we got to today. The assumption that so much is done for a people, when actually what you are doing for the people doesn't really compare and compete with what the people give to the nation. I mean, that assumption can no longer thrive. There has to be another level of proactive, pragmatic response to the material conditions of the people of the Niger Delta, so that these agitations that is reflected in the different dimensions of discourses will be properly assuaged. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. You've been able to do justice, and I was super grateful, sir. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank God.
Bye-bye. Thank you.